All right, we are making a purchase. I need to wire some cash. Wire sent. Now we wait.
Okay, let's go.
So here it is, Ducati Panigale V2 in Arctic White. It's used. Kind of surprised I have the bike here. I actually learned on sport bikes. I think it was a Suzuki Genesis long ago than I'd care to admit. Don't judge my age. There was a guy who wrecked it, brought it to my dad who ran a body shop back in the day, and it cost too much to fix, so he just left it with him. And whenever I would go to his shop and help clean or go visit him when I was younger, I would always be climbing all over that thing. He couldn't get me off of it. So after 6 months, maybe even a year, my dad decided to restore it. And thinking about the story, it's kind of making sense to me. So it had that, I think it was a Delta 2 frame, which was new at the time. And when he restored it, he powder coated the frame white. The panels, the fairings, the seat, everything was whited out. Didn't put any of the logos on it except for the Suzuki tag on the back, which kind of makes sense to me why I had to buy this. I never connected those dots until this second. So I hadn't ridden a sport bike for probably 20 years now. I had that Genesis, and then I moved on to an R6 and a Daytona 595, which I thought was the coolest bike in the world in canary yellow. Didn't have money at the time, so stopped riding. Probably didn't pick it up again until around 10 years ago. And when I did, it was cruisers, it was nakeds, it was hyper nakeds. And I'd had an itch to ride a sport bike again because it had been so long and I'd forgotten how it was. And as luck would have it, the algorithm one day put this thing in front of me, and I have no impulse control. So you guys saw that I sent a wire, bought it from California, and here it is. Because I'm really good at making bad decisions, it's a key feature for me. I already have a list of mods on the table, and I'm debating on if I should install those first or if I should actually ride this thing, because all I've done is taken it from the end of the driveway to where it sits now. Yeah, let's ride it. Let's go get this thing on the road and see how it actually does. I'll see you guys in a second.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so immediately I notice how much more aggressive the seating position is on the V2 in contrast to the R6 and the Triumph. I feel much more stretched out. Handlebars are definitely much lower. Very aggressive seating position. And since I haven't ridden a sport bike in some time, the second I squeezed the tank with my legs, I could feel those muscles tense up and realized it's gonna hurt tomorrow, and I am out of shape for riding a sport bike. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but first couple of weeks when I rode a sport bike for the first time, building some muscle in my shoulders, my back, and then in my legs from gripping the tank, using your abs to stay up, not putting your weight onto your hands and your elbows. Really tried to hold to that philosophy, and that's conditioning. It takes some strength, and it took me some time. So I'm curious now that I'm much older, even though I do exercise, how long it's going to take me to get comfortable riding this thing again. Right here you can see how famous the Ducati neutral is to try and find. Just bouncing back and forth from 1 to 2. What I have noticed on all my other Ducatis is it's very easy to find neutral when you're coming to a stop as opposed to being at a dead stop. It feels like it's two completely different transmissions. If I'm rolling down or cruising to a stop, I hit neutral every time. It's very easy to find. But when you're at a dead stop, God, is it a pain in the butt. Not like what they do on the Kawasaki's, where it's just impossible to miss. I don't want to say I'm not enjoying the ride, but I am 100% out of my comfort zone since it's been so long, and that's definitely on mind. I will say one thing that I like right off the bat is the handling. While the Street Fighter and the Monster have a lot more agility, and I think that's due to not only having full handlebars as opposed to clip-ons, but they are using different Diablo Corset tires, which have a little bit more of an aggressive profile. So those almost feel like they want to fall over because they're so easy to lean in. I actually prefer that this one takes a little bit more effort to get it to turn and to lean, and because of that it feels a lot more stable and grounded. Yes, I'm going to say it doesn't feel as agile, but it feels so much more natural and comfortable. The first time I rode the Street Fighter, it felt like riding on a knife edge, like it just wanted to tip over, and I wasn't used to that level of aggressiveness for the carving. So I do really enjoy the handling on this. I actually feel more stable. Some of that could be from the fact that I am absolutely on top of the bike, leaned over. So you have no choice but to be in it and fully engaged. I also forgot what it's like to have the weight of the helmet on your neck as you keep your head up. Gonna have to find a different setup. As much as I like my Shoeis, I might need to go to a carbon fiber or something a little bit later. Hello, bikers. This is a popular road to ride on. I see a lot of other bikers here because in between the farms and the forest you actually drive through a couple of preserves. So it's nice and green and underdeveloped and fun roads. They just started putting roundabouts where I live, and I'm used to them because I commute out of state and out of country all the time for work. But I am constantly surprised how few people
know how to navigate them. And there's always someone who's messing up the flow. Repetition, right? They'll get it. Even though I'm a little bit uncomfortable on it, again, probably because of just how long it's been and I'm not used to this riding position, I will say I'll just say it. I feel cool. I feel awesome riding this thing. You can't miss it. It is absolutely beautiful. I think this generation of Panigale is one of the most beautiful, especially with the single-sided swing arm. I know the new 25 models are a little bit controversial. The sidearm doesn't bother me on the new ones. It's more the opening between the front fairing and the wheel seems almost multi-strata to me. There's so much travel there. But I need to see one in person and see how it actually looks firsthand. But I do feel amazing riding this thing from a ego perspective. And yes, I had to buy a matching white helmet and jacket to go with it so I could complete the aesthetic because, you know, why not? There is a tune on this bike, and I'll go over all the mods that are already on it and what I'm doing to it or have done to it by the time this video gets published. I have noticed with the tune that it is very lumpy. When I come to a stopper, I downshift in the lower gears, primarily second and first. I know the ECU has to do some learning, and it came from California, which was a warmer climate, and now it's up in the Midwest, which is significantly cooler, and it was a cool morning for this ride. So it might improve over time, because it does seem like it's running rich. So it's making it bog down or choppy a little bit. That is one thing that I've definitely noticed. I absolutely love the handling on this. As weird as it sounds, I feel more comfortable leaning this than I do any of my other bikes, even though it's technically harder to turn. And I don't know if that's just coming from the fact that, again, on the Street Fighter, it takes very little effort to get it to lean. I mean, you barely push the handle and that thing wants to fall over. So it feels a little unstable almost. Where this, I like that I have to push it, and I don't feel that it's so agile that I'm losing control or that it's doing its own thing. Overall, the bike runs great. It sounds sensational. And yes, it is a Ducati. It just wants to pull. I love the handling. I love the suspension. The seat's actually very comfortable, even though I'm out of shape and I need to get some repetitions on this thing before I get kind of built back up to riding for longer term. But I am happy I got it. I am impressed with the bike. Alright, we are back at the house. That was an awesome ride. I appreciate you guys coming with me. Until next time, later.